Nola in the desert in Arizona. Nola's from Dailymotion, and we're talking programmatic. Maybe I'll just start off with having you talk a little bit about Dailymotion, what's new and exciting with you guys, what trends you're watching, what's important to you, etc.
So Dailymotion is a video hosting platform. We have our own site, dailymotion.com, and we have our own video player with monetization built in that we license out for them to use. It's completely free, actually. So one of the things that we are really focused on is CTV. Building out the CTV strategy has been one of the main focuses that I've taken on board since joining Dailymotion, and really scaling what our strategy is going to be there and how we're going to continue to get scale across all the different OTT platform where we have apps globally.
Is it sort of still Wild West in terms of figuring out where to go and to get distribution? And then once you get those deals, is every deal different? And like, what are you learning in terms of, what have you learned over the last 6 months?
Every deal is different.
Yeah.
And it's not as easy as it sounds. It's not like, okay, we'll just create an app and then go. It's really thinking about the platform, thinking about the user, thinking about the demand that you're then going to have as the long-term strategy, and then thinking about how you're going to scale across those platforms and how you're going to scale in those markets. And these are all things that are very nuanced by platform, but also by the type of content that we provide. We have 4 major verticals, which is news, entertainment, music, and sports.
Yep. And
what apps, what platforms are going to have users that are most interested in that content.
Got it. And monetization, just talk to me about the strategy and maybe what's going well and what's been more challenging, whether it's technical or business or otherwise.
Interestingly enough, so far, the technical piece hasn't been that difficult once the app is built and we have our player strategy within it, because it's all connected to our own stack of being able to kind of understand what's going on. I think it's really been the scale, being able to get scale and being able to grow that audience. So we've had 10 years of time to grow our audience across web and mobile web, and we're starting to do more of that in-app and have been for the past few years. CTV is brand new. Everything has just been organic. So how do we get that scale in order to enhance the monetization opportunity until, for now, it remains rather limited.
So from a volume standpoint, it still feels like there's friction in terms of making it easily accessible to anyone who wants to get it on any platform. We're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
As an industry.
As an industry, yeah. There are too many platforms, and each one, because you need to build a custom application for each platform, with the exception of the ones that are on the Android devices, then it's really like the resources that a publisher needs. And if you think about it this way, every single platform, actually, if you're going to use a third-party player of that platform, which we don't do, you need the resources to maintain that player.
Fast forward 2 years, what do you think will happen to solve that? Because it's got to get solved one way or another.
I think that we're going to start to see some of the OTT platforms really kind of continue to gain more and more market share. It'll be very obvious in the next 2 years who are the main players in the space that we need to be integrated with, if not already. And I think that might be different by market. So if we're thinking about ourselves as a global publisher, our strategy for US CTV might be very different from our strategy for France or APAC. But I think we're going to start to see that consolidation of just the users and what they're buying and what devices they're actually consuming the content on, and that's going to inform a lot of our decisions.
How do you think the industry measures efficacy of advertising on CTV different from the cash register data that might be used in traditional linear TV?
For us, it's really the completion rates and thinking about it from the completion rate and high engagement versus clicks or rating. And those are the types of metrics we're trying to evangelize. It's a full screen experience. It's generally hard to do fraud in that environment just because it's a closed device, it's server side, there's high authentication rates. And then on the viewability standpoint, because it's highly engaged and it's full screen, you don't have as many of those issues. At least it doesn't seem to be.
And do those things translate to traditional TV buyers? Or is it really geared more, does it need to be geared towards your traditional digital buyer?
I think it sits in between. I really think that it's geared towards both, but I do think there's an education piece on both sides that they shouldn't be, that the traditional linear buyer shouldn't be thinking about a CTV or OTT buy as the way they would measure a linear buy and linear measurements, and same thing for the digital side. It doesn't exactly translate from digital to digital TV.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank
This
you.
has been great.